Dota 2 fans, and welcome to another edition of MRP, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, casting some viewer games. This one brought to you by @FelixW. Felix, appreciate all the contribution and the support, and from all of you guys thus far. You guys have been really great to me, so I appreciate it very much. We're gonna hop right into this one. Let me give a quick check to see if Felix let me know what hero he is. So it looks like it'll be ambiguous for the time being, but either way, we'll get right into this one. And it looks like it actually is going to be that ranked all pick style of draft, so perhaps we can get a little bit of analysis going, but we'll speed it up for the time being, at least for the draft. See what comes out. Wow, Clockwork pickup is something a bit unorthodox as of late. This hero has been crippled quite a bit by virtue of just some of the meta heroes coming to the forefront. Ursa, namely, one of them who really does not care about Blade Mail anymore by virtue of the new Enrage, and just a lot of heroes that are able to deal with him. A lot of team fighty heroes, a lot of force staffs being built. So Clockwork not nearly as popular as he once was, not quite as disruptive in lane, as well as he doesn't really have the ability to retreat to the jungle with the Iron Talon as a lot of these more popular offlaners too. But as we fly through this draft, we'll see the Jungle Legion Commander come out for the one side, and we'll see how that ends up faring for the Radiant. But looks like I'm still on directed camera. Rip. Get back into this one and give myself some freedom. Either way, we are going to hop into this one. And looks like there's going to be a Luna potentially towards the off lane for the Radiant side. So very unorthodox lanes coming out on both sides. A little bit more standard from the Dire. We've got the Lifestealer, Never Give Up. He's more than likely going to go to the jungle with the Talon, and the Feast already skilled up. We've got Kill, Pain, Kill, who's on OS Frog's favorite hero at the moment. That's going to be the Spectre. Maybe you could make an argument for OD, but either way, going to take more than likely towards this safe lane. We got OP going towards the mid on a hero that is, I mean, not so aptly named at this moment. Shadow Fiend, not quite OP right now, but we'll see if he's able to get a little traction underneath his heels. WFHB Boo is going to grab up the Pudge, and Limonka is going to be picking up the Abaddon over towards more than likely a dual off lane here. So we'll see if Limonka actually does end up supporting up the Spectre, who will have a rough time without at least one support in lane. But for now, Pudge certainly going to be at least playing this soaking some XP role early on in the off lane, and perhaps transitioning to roaming around a little bit later on. So FLX, maybe Felix, is going to pick up the Slark here. He'll get the pounce off, but they will lose the little skirmish towards the bounty rune. And in fact, the Dire are going to pick up both bounty runes using the Spectral Dagger top lane. Spectre able to pick that up as well. So Felix going to expand a little bit of his regen. He's actually gone for early Gloves of Haste, so extremely greedy build early in the lane. We'll see if that leaves him with enough regen to hang around, but already going for that level 1 pounce and going for that early rune engagement means that he is going to be a little bit starved in terms of the regen department. We'll see how he fares in this bottom lane. Macacao is going to pick up the Lion. That's going to leave the jungler to GNG on the Legion Commander, and it is going to be Dota Grand actually on the Luna in the mid lane, which leaves Picor or Marmite up on the Clockwork, excuse me, in top lane. Clockwork should have a great time if the Abaddon doesn't run over here very soon up against the Spectre. And Clockwork in most melee matches 1v1 is going to fare well, barring perhaps an anti-mage who's able to burn out most of his mana. So right as the lanes are shaping up right now, it looks like the Radiant perhaps with a slight advantage. Perhaps the mid lane goes favor towards the Shadow Fiend if he's able to start picking up the CS, but at this point 2-3 or 3-3 on the Luna, and only the 1 CS for the Shadow Fiend. So that is going to hurt a little bit in terms of him trying to gather up those Necromastery stacks. We'll see how the lanes end up shaking out. Right now it looks a little bit Radiant favored, and no pull to the side camp either. There's the Dire Observer Ward giving them a little bit of vision, but not the deadliest duo here. Either way, Never Give Up top lane is going to cancel the salve of Marmite, and does get the open wounds off as well. Kill, Pain, Kill is very low. There's a Rocket Flare in 1 second as well. You can turn and fire this. It's not going to kill off the Spectre. It is only level 1, but they will pincer him in. One more right click with the Desolate. Oh, the move speed from the Clockwork. 315 to the 290 of the Spectre. And now he's got the turn in the Rocket Flare, but he turns too early. Could have just kept running away, but gets a little bit greedy, and Spectre will be able to pick up the first blood. Ends up dying for it, but will be able to grab that extra bit of gold. And if you look at the fight recap, gets the experience as well being alive. So 93 gold there for the kill, a little bit more, but you got to add the first blood bonus. So definitely heavily Spectre favored here. Hookshot flies near the rune onto GNG, who was able to pick it up, and now he will be able to chase down the Pudge with the move speed advantage. So trying to deny himself is Bibu, but he'll end up dropping 2-1 across the map, and things looking decent for the Radiant side. Clockwork will join himself or return himself to that top lane. There's no overwhelming odds available here for GNG, but he's going to put a lot of punishment into the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend, however, has the bottle in the stash, and that will come out fairly soon. UK Marmite, a little bit of banter in the all chat, playing a little bit far forward here, as you would expect him to in this matchup, and never give up. He's been found in the jungle. One more right click. Uphill. Will it miss? It will not. And Dodegrand is going to find with a haste rune. So it did have a haste rune. Wouldn't have mattered if that attack missed regardless. But we'll find the Lifestealer in the jungle. And with a haste rune and a couple of Lucent Beams, there's definitely kill potential in this mid lane up on the Shadow Fiend. But the haste will expire now. Meanwhile, bottom lane, you end up missing a kill on the line. And the Clockwork getting dove simultaneously. Spectre goes down once again. So we're going to cheat a little bit. Give me back 3 minutes, 5 seconds. Bot lane. Cow still safe for now. A little bit of trading going on top lane. The cogs are used. Kill Pain Kill has no dagger available just yet, but will try and chase down the Clockwork. Meanwhile, bot lane, they are diving forward with the Aphotic Shield. That'll pop and kill off the Lion. One more right click for Kill Pain will be enough to kill the Clockwork. Once again, the return kill will be found. Overall, 4-3 across the map. Some good CS being found in the jungle by the Lifestealer, but other than that, looks fairly Radiant favored overall. The Shadow Fiend found some space in the mid lane, so should be good to start to win the CS battle here, as the Luna did rotate out to find that Lifestealer kill, but still found a kill as well. So if you take a look at the net worth, Luna topping the board, even though being tied up with this Shadow Fiend. Get the deny off. The Rocket Flare will fly out from base, and Marmite will return himself up to the top lane on that Clockwork. If nothing else, he's finding a little bit of gold, but really wants to be finding these levels. The Spectre has been the one getting the experience for these kills, and that's why you see her near eclipsing that level 5 mark. Clockwork just a little bit behind, but Marmite still doing well in the off lane. His laning equivalents in the Pudge and the Abaddon, sitting on about level 3.5. Abaddon at level 4 at this point, so not too far behind him. Clockwork has picked up a good amount of CS and some of that gold from the return kills on the Spectre as well. So can look to get active pretty early, and it's a pretty good game for the Clockwork, despite Clockwork not being a meta hero. Abaddon, probably one of the targets you don't want in the Cog. Spectre, a little bit elusive, as we do see Luna bring down the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane using that illusion rune and to tank the tower. But Lifestealer is pretty darn susceptible to the hookshot. You don't want to leave yourself in the cogs with him, so it'd be wise to pick up a Force Staff for the Clockwork here. But if you do leave a Lifestealer in the cogs with no one, he is pretty much dead weight and very easily killable. So we'll see what the Clockwork's item build ends up being, but definitely some of these heroes susceptible. The Pudge, though, a pretty good counter to the cogs as well, having the hook to be able to land from the periphery of it. How's Felix doing in the bot lane on this Slark? Only 6 CS thus far, 5 minutes in, so averaging about 1 CS a minute at this point, and he has been pressured pretty heavily by this offlane dual lane, only having the solo support. Once again, though, Eclipse actually utilized.
I came here for a battle.
Lifestealer is going to be found out. No points in rage. 0-2-2 build is an interesting one. Usually you see at least a 1-1-2. Even if you're in the jungle in this case, the rage, definitely a very valuable value point to have, and it's going to hurt him there not skilling that up. He's going to end up dying to that, first usage of the Eclipse. 6-minute rune to come out soon as well, and Luna has the bit of extra move speed on the Shadow Fiend. Does not actually have that move speed. Has no set of boots just yet. So bot lane, Felix can get into a trading war with this Abaddon soon when he picks up the 6, and will grab it now. So there's the Shadow Dance. He's going to get a little bit low. Will be forced to pop it. Doesn't want to turn, however, onto Limona, and now the Aphotic Shield will pop again. The hook shot, it's going to be short. Even if it did connect, or if it didn't connect on that creep, it probably would have been short. Pounce in 1 second. Felix will get it out while the attack animation is in the air. Boots advantage for Limonka. He's not going to chase into the tower, though. Rocket Flare will fly through, not going to connect onto anyone. And yeah, this early Glove of Haste build has clearly hindered Felix quite a bit, while Luna dives very deep towards the mid lane. So apologies for the camera work, a little bit rusty there, guys, but I guess the benefit of being in a replay is we can do this and watch it out. Felix, though, able to make it away bot lane despite having a build that's not really going to help him with these early skirmishes in lane. Double damage rune, just a couple of chunks away on Never Give Up, and Luna should be able to chase him down. He does not have a set of boots at this point. Luna with the treads, and Lucent Beam can fly from distance as well. That'll kill him off, and then we'll pick up her 4th kill of the game. 4-0 on Dota Grand. Macacao, he's sitting above this Shadow Fiend mid as well, who does not have a Requiem available, so still very killable in this mid lane. They have the double damage rune expiring now, and not much mana on the Luna, but they will jump forward. Clockwork is nearby. He has the hook shot available as well. He will be able to expend it. Lands, hook, line, and sinker. They'll bring down the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, and that'll be UK Marmite. Wisely so, utilizing that first hook shot immediately as he picks it up, or near immediately. They also will grab up the duel as the next big cooldown to have in their arsenal, and bringing down the mid laner there is going to help them quite a bit. You take a look at the net worth, and Spectre farming pretty well, but all in all, the dispersion for the Tricore, aside from the Slark at least, Tricore if you include the jungler, pretty darn good. The Slark has been shut down a little bit, but he is presumably going for a Midas with this early Gloves of Haste and saving all of this gold. So hopefully, for his sake, we'll be able to recover. Although definitely not an advocate of that early starting build. Not a jungle hero, but Felix will be able to accrue some last hits underneath the tower here, and
he's missing.
Should help him out in his cause of coming back into this one. Meanwhile, top lane, some more trading going on between Marmite. Abaddon does have the borrowed time available and is going to get a little ballsy because of it. His Aphotic Shield will pop here. Felix still has the ultimate available. They're able to hex him up during the borrowed time, and he's going to have to back off because of it. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Luna continuing to rotate well. He's able to get over towards that Spectre with the Eclipse. Rotations inbound bottom lane. They know the borrowed time is on cooldown. They have the duel nearby. Will the pounce connect for Felix? It does not, but the duel will be in range, and they do get the Dark Pack damage off as well. Easy duel win. The first duel for G, and G, 10 raw damage going his way. And top lane, they're going to continue to shove in this tier 1 tower after they bring down the Spectre. Really no lane attendance here for the Dire side left. They will TP back the Spectre. She has a Haunt available as well. Is level 8 and yet to use Haunt. This is a really good cooldown she'd want to use, but she needs some form of initiation from the rest of her squad. Having a Lifestealer jungle is not going to net you that, but this Pudge main, he will find a hook on top of the Clockwork. They can Haunt into the cogs, and Killpain will do so. It's a little bit of a late Haunt in. Pudge will pick up the last hit there, and had no worry about the Clockwork escaping as the cogs were entirely inside the trees. So even if he kills one there, he cannot walk away. A little bit of a late Haunt in from Killpain, and they will be able to net themselves a kill. It's a little risky for the Pudge, but either way, nice hook shot, or nice hook thrown from the Pudge. And I mentioned it, they're going to need initiation somewhere across the map, whether it be by virtue of a hook shot, or perhaps by just an open wounds for the Spectre to jump in with this Haunt. But still, the issue right now for the Dire side is this Luna. She's farming pretty well. 29 CS is not going to be nearly the top of the board at this point, but she does have those 5 kills and 1 assist to her name, and that's why you see her atop the net worth chart. 10 minutes in, the bounty rune top lane will be picked up by the Shadow Fiend. Illusion rune bottom net by the Pudge, and Hogs up top lane. Dagger will come out from Killpain. It is a level 2 dagger at this point. It's going to linger for a bit, but UK has the battery assault available, so he's more than willing to fight into the Spectre, though he should not be taking desolate shots, and he will hook shot right into a creep. Well, that's unfortunate for him. 70 seconds on the sideline for that cooldown. Felix now going to be trading with an Abaddon. That's not a hero you want to be trading with at this point in the game, at least before you get up more attack speed to be able to generate those essence shift stacks. Limonka going to dive fairly deep, and Felix pinging out, desperately hoping for some rotations from his teammates, but he'll get the fog, which will give him enough to get his Shadow Dance passive off. And now the rotation in from Macau. We'll get the Hex off. The Dark Pact, though, is going to be stopped up by those units. Limonka, low on mana, has no borrowed time available, but they don't continue to chase forward for him. The TP, in fact, canceled by the Luna towards that bottom lane. And fair enough, no real need to commit too hard for the Abaddon from the Luna. The Lion probably should have been chasing knowing borrowed time was down, but Luna farming well in the mid lane, no real reason to do that. They will get the Spectre top lane as well with the duel, and action everywhere across the map. Rushed Shadowblade actually coming out 11 minutes in for GNG with that early duel win. That'll definitely help him out. Mana drain onto Limonka, and he's got a Bassi and the Arcane Boots behind him, so he'll be okay for now. Slark, though, has retreated to the jungle, did pick up his Midas as well. Rocket Flare going to fly through, at least scout out the back lines here. Meanwhile, GNG pushing in this top lane, and they are going to find the Lion, though, in the trees. Dismember available, but the Hex comes out first. The Rot will finish off the Lion, though, and now they still have a Dismember available. Limonka needs to be able to frontline, but the Pudge is going to be found out. The Cogs actually bounce him towards safety, though. And now he's just going to Rot to try and kill himself. Will the Luna get there in time? Oh, one right click easily does the job. They'll get the Pudge. Meanwhile, Felix did die in the jungle. Not sure who was able to bring him down on the Slark, but that's going to be very costly. His timings have been heavily stymied in this game, and it's not a good game for the Slark thus far. He goes for the comeback Midas, and understandable, but he intended on rushing this Midas, picking up the Gloves of Haste off the bat, and this is just not how you want to spend your 500 gold off the bat. You want to go for a few more cost-effective items if possible, especially versus an Abaddon. But Earthspike going to go out top lane onto OP, and he's feeling fairly safe at this point. DK going to pop his Cogs bot lane, burns off the mana of the Abaddon, and that'll deter any aggression coming his way. So well placed there. It's a short cooldown, not much in terms of mana intensive, and Hodge gonna roll through. Knows Cogs are on cooldown, comes through with the Rot, but no Dismember. Does see the Legion rotating now, and GNG, if he was under the cover of Shadowblade there, perhaps is able to bait out the Dismember on what appears to be a lone clock and get a free duel win. But either way, we'll just walk it out. Bot lane gonna come forward with the dagger. Shadowblade is there. Kill Pain in trouble. They get the hook shot. It's not gonna connect, and now the press the attack comes there. The duel is out as well. Eclipse gonna be held on to right now, and now can be expended if they get the Cogs off with the Spectre, but there's no mana just yet for the Clockwork, and just one more Lucent Beam will do the job. They'll be able to bring down 2 in this bottom lane, and it's a killing spree going the way of the Clockwork. OP gonna try and shove it in this top lane in the meantime, but this Triumvirate of Heroes is pretty low right now. They have the press the attack, though, and they're actually not gonna look to continue forward. Not sure what this Luna is building, but Slark doing a little bit of shit talking here, and not quite in the position to just yet, but hopefully we'll be able, for his sake, to come back into this one. And Spectre gonna end up dying bottom. They will assemble for the push, which I expected, but the hook shot, that'll be a dead body hooked up by the Pudge. GNG gonna get ripped down, and yeah, the Luna is 6-0 as you see in Cyrillic letters. I can't exactly read that, but you get the gist of it. 2,500 gold onto the Luna, and not sure what she's going to build into. Rushing Satanic would be very odd, so any other item probably has a smaller component build-up that can be purchased up, but we'll see what it ends up being the choice for her. Right now, she's sitting on 6-0-3, and doesn't have all that much to worry about, but Luna, a very squishy hero early on, so if she does get caught out of position, that'll be a massive streak fed over to the enemy team, and they need to be careful not to throw that advantage away. So in general, I would suggest spending some of this gold. This is kind of a Mushi tactic here, saving your gold a little bit, but even Mushi has strayed from that in recent times. Tire Observer Ward here is going to scout out the movement of Macacao. Having a Slark, it's very odd to see this not dewarded. As you see, it's canceling that Shadow Dance passive there, so he does ping it out, though. Blue will be able to ping it out, so is aware nearby, and now Macau, he's going to run into his death because of it. They ping that out nearby. Dismember is there now. The Luna rotating in, though, and the borrowed time is not available, but she walks away as the Haunt scares her off, and now the Abaddon gonna survive because of it. In fact, they're gonna come through. The Rocket Flare will be just short of the Abaddon, and he'll get the Aphotic Shield off as well, so he is surviving for now because of it. Hook shot is gonna fly through. It is gonna land as well. Blade Mail is there, and the Pudge definitely gonna drop here. Rocket Flare will secure the kill for the Clockwork. So they get a kill off the back of it. They don't lose anything, but could have had another kill onto the Luna. Meanwhile, OP has picked up a set of Boots of Travel, and he's going to look for this split push game. Hookshot is, of course, off of cooldown there. And the Clockwork does have the Blade Mail available, so SF needs to be careful not to kill himself on it, but he's basically completely isolated out. UK Marmite will grab another kill. 522 gold was the bounty given to him for that solo kill on the mid lane SF, and SF has had a very rough time in this one. Midas beginning to take away for Felix. He picks up a full Aquila. Will have enough for treads as well fairly soon. And Slark clawing his way back into relevance. Makakao will get the deny on that tier 1 bot lane. Three duel wins so far for GNG. Looks to retreat into the jungle. Can easily go back towards this mid lane. Abaddon, though, not the most ideal duel target, of course, for obvious reasons, and they do have intel as to the positioning of these two heroes here. Slark also knows where this Pudge is at, though, by virtue of this high ground ward, so both teams with some decent intel. This is going to be spotted out, though, by the ward on the high ground, so the Legion Commander not surprising anyone with this Shadow Blade forward, and may even find herself out of position, but she will quickly back off as she walks up the hill and does not find any suitable targets for the duel. Clockwork doing very well. Blade Mail, Bracer, Phase Boots. Got the Point Booster on the way to the Aghanims. That's going to be certainly a nice pickup. 6, 3, and 4 is the clock, and Spectre has been quietly farming for the last little bit. 5 deaths in the game is going to get hooked up by the Clockwork here. Will try and haunt out. She does reality towards the bot lane, and Felix actually going to back out instead of manning up onto the Spectre. And granted, he doesn't have all that much vision, but the wave was shoved up pretty far, so I think he could have just manned up on the Spectre there, despite there being Desolate. He has the Shadow Dance passive available. You pounce her up, get a couple Essence Shift stacks off, bait her into sticking around, and she had very low mana, so you bait her into sticking around, and then you pop the ultimate and you just finish her off. So very odd to see Felix back out there. He is a little bit under farm, so perhaps not feeling quite fight ready, but GNG may run into his own demise here. He will get the Shadow Blade hit off, but he doesn't go for the duel right away, and now they can look to turn on him with the Spectral Dagger. The hook shot is available fairly soon. The hook is available very soon as well from the Puck. The Eclipse, though, it will roll through, but she is getting fogged, and all the beams are hitting onto the Abaddon. Now Dode de Grand is in a lot of trouble. This is a huge streak going to be fed over. If she goes down, she's pincered up, dismembered. Abaddon's going to find the streak. 553 gold going his way. Unstoppable streak. Fed over by the Luna, and did pick up a couple of items beforehand on the way to the Manta Style, so doesn't lose a boatload of gold as was possible. But Makako in a little bit of trouble now. Hook flies through. Oh, just short. Level 4 range, not quite enough. The Aether Lens not bought out by the Pudge as well. It will find the Abaddon, though, in the cogs. And Clockwork gets that kill. Never give up. Gonna run through, though, with the armlet as well as the rage, and is able to pick up the kill on the Lion. So a little bit of a nice engagement there with the Legion going down early, but she'll return to the fray now. Finds an easy duel win onto the Pudge, and the armlet toggle is definitely not the play there from Never Give Up. He needs to toggle it back on, and he does. Barely in time. The rage was there, so overwhelming odds. Wasn't able to kill him anyways. Shadow Blade up on the Lifestealer is a weird one. Press the attack. They're going to man up mid lane. GNG. OP has been left to his own devices by Never Give Up. And yeah, under the cover of Shadow Blade, can't really be armlet toggling, so was a risky proposition for him to return to the fight there, but did have an open wounds available, so maybe it was possible to continue fighting with his Shadow Fiend. Either way,
I'll take that.
When all is said and done, the Luna does go down, and some of these cores from the Dire side look to be clawing their way back into this one. Bit of a pick-off oriented build as well from the Legion Commander, so I expected, but not going to scale perfectly. Borrowed Time isn't available for this Abaddon, and they will end up forcing it, but there's going to be a big Requiem that'll kill off the Legion pretty much instantly. The hook shot, or the hook, does find Limonka, and I think the Lion kills himself on a blade mail there. Hook through, though. They will find the Abaddon return kill. It ends up being a 2-for-2. Legion and the Lion for the Abaddon and the Pudge. Rough leaving, but if they find the Shadow Fiend, it's a definite win. Coming up from the Radiant side, he will get the Shadow Blade off, though, and there is no detection. He'll turn and run towards that mid lane. Looks like he'll be fine to get into the fog for now. So ends up being a 2-for-2 when all is said and done. Clockwork still doing very well for himself. Not sure how the Lion dies there. There are no blade mails, so it was interesting to see him die. Oh, we are at 2142. I'm going to take this back about to 21. See if I can't find the Lion dying. Never give up, gonna make it out. Alright, here we go. Spectre has a haunt available. Kako still in good standing at this point. Oh, the Requiem blew him to bits. And yeah, Finger of Death comes out. Looked like return damage there, so maybe just the Aphotic Shield popping. More than likely, that's what it was, is the Aphotic Shield popping and bringing him down. It was only about 180 damage to kill off the Lion, but yeah, fingering the wrong target there. We'll just let this drag out as it was. Shadowblade gonna allow the Shadow Fiend to extricate himself from any danger. But Spectre not electing to reality into that fight, and perhaps could have turned it, but if she reality's in early, she will get hit by that Requiem as well. So perhaps a wise decision coming up from the Spectre. And we saw the all chat before. Obviously, the Spectre not the most faith in her teammates. Level 2 Haunt utilized, no kill found. She is going to go from the Vanguard into the Radiance Rush here. Does pick up the Relic 22 minutes in. It's not a horrendous timing. Not a great timing either, and certainly not. Limonka is going to have his borrowed time pop. Manta is popped as well by Dodogran mid lane. He's going to take a little while to micro off his main hero. Felix going to miss the pounce completely onto his target, and Luna still hanging around. Mid lane is going to try and play some mind games with the Abaddon, it seems, but he's going to pop up the drums and look to go forward with the face boost. The hook shot, though, will bog him down, and now they're going to be able to turn on. They know the borrowed time is down. Rocket Flare's there, and UK Marmite. This man has been MVP caliber for the Radiant side early on. Not sure the Luna would have been chased down, but regardless, he is just netting kill after kill. In this one, 10, 3, and 4, involved in 14 of the 21 kills for the Radiant side, so exactly 2/3 at this point. And now he's going to pick up an Aghanim Scepter. So with that 12-second hook shot cooldown, he can get even more active across the map alongside his early fighting cores in the Luna and the Legion Commander. Slark still needs a little bit of recovery, but has picked up a Blink Dagger, so he can contribute inside the cogs as well when this Clockwork is able to land that hook shot. But things still looking pretty good for the Radiant. Game definitely not out of hand. Or the Dire, though, at this point. The Shadow Fiend is considerably under-farmed for having free reign in the mid lane. But going back to the point I wanted to touch upon before is that the reason Spectre is so strong recently is that people realize how often and early this hero can be contributing to engagements across the map, can be farming alone in her lane and all of a sudden mopping up kills in other lane, much like the Nature's Prophet has seen tons of coming to the forefront once again in the competitive. So the Radiance Rush is not nearly as strong as it once was. People are more often opting for Urn, Phase Boots, Aquila, Yasha, these things that stat you up, allow you to fight early on, give you that little bit of farming and attack speed, but don't necessarily hurt your farm with items like Yasha, but as well aren't hurting your fight potential, whereas a Radiance Rush certainly hurts your fight potential. Killpain will be able to dagger out to the east and make it out of any danger, but he's essentially going to waste the haunt for scouting purposes. And now that they know he's gone, Hookshot comes through. It'll catch the Pudge. Never Give Up is inside the cogs and is Armlet End raged up, but this will expire fairly soon. They have the dust there. There is a duel. It's free duel damage. Eclipse will be expended, but it's a 2-0. Hookshot, not a big deal, and as is the Aghanims one at this point, and they'll be able to retreat off into the Roche Pit. The Legion Commander and Lion definitely do not have enough alone to do this, especially without a Desolator on the Legion. They're going to at least need the Luna to come through, but it doesn't seem like Luna is at all interested in this Roche attempt, and more than likely this Roche attempt is going to fail pretty miserably, but it ends up happening. They're going to press the attack if they get a few lucky moment of courage procs, and it looks like that is the case, so they will be able to bring this Roche down. The Deso actually does fly out, so a little bit more sensible that they do try to take some good Desolator, but yeah. I've watched a few of these Roshan attempts, and that one didn't look like it was going to be successful, so Legion ends up dying. They do get the Aegis for the Clockwork, but not the ideal target they wanted for it. And he may even just feed this Aegis right now. He does. Right away, Hookshot will kill him off, and now he'll be up in the cogs as soon as he respawns. He's going to pop the Blade Mail, but there's 3 heroes doing work, and the Battery Assault gets off before the Dismember, else the Clockwork goes down without finding a return kill, but he does get the Pudge in return. Meanwhile, though, OP 908 gold for that godlike streak from the Clockwork. That'll give him enough for his Sange, and he will be able to complete up the SNY because of it. He TPs up to the top lane, a little bit risky considering his HP pool, but 4 heroes on the deck. Roughly knows the Lion's location as well, as he did see him rock out of that Roche Pit, so still fairly safe for the Shadow Fiend. And a lot of players do make that mistake to immediately go back to base after taking a good engagement, but he assesses the situation across the map and realizes that there's really no one to punish him for being out in lane like that just yet. With the Clockwork on the sideline, he's the only one with that global potential, and maybe the Legion Commander, but now he'll hang around for far too long. Dust will be there. Pounce will latch. This is a big kill for Felix if he can find it. Requiem, Death Requiem almost kills him off, but he will get the Shadow Dance off, and that'll allow him to blink, and now the Spectre having to back off. Felix, he's going to have the Shadow Dance tick through, and doesn't need to base at this point, as the Shadow Dance will heal him all up, but will base regardless. Has no TP, so can pick up something like a Basher at this point. 3,500 gold in his inventory. We'll see what the choice will be, but the Hookshot does find the Spectre. However, he's infested up with the raised up Lifestealer, who does not care about the Blade Mail, and that's what I touched upon earlier. If you're going to hook a Lifestealer, you need to force yourself out of the cogs and leave him in there. Duel, though, found onto the Spectre. The Finger of Death will be there. It's easy duel damage for the Legion, but now she's in trouble as she did use the Desolator to get in, but the Eclipse will come to back her up. The kill, though, found from Never Give Up beforehand. Triple kill for the Lifestealer. He does end up going down when all is said and done. But yeah, Rage, making him not care. Wanted to show this fight recap, but you'll see the Pudge die in the meantime. He'll actually be able to deny himself. But the main beneficiary of that fight is the Luna. 549 gold going to go his way. The Lifestealer, though, 3,000 experience, 770 net gold over on the Dire side. Major benefit for him, and he'll be able to pick up a full Silver Edge at this point, so cancels up the Legion's passive, which is nice. You also get, of course, the damage reduction on top of the break mechanic, but two nice passives to cancel as well on the Luna. So pretty darn good item here if you're going to start off with the Shadow Blade. Not that I would recommend that in the first place, but Shadow Blade seems to be god tier at these lower level skill pubs, as many of the heroes already have gone for it. In the Legion, the Shadow Fiend and the Lifestealer. So Shadow Fiend does have that full SNY, the Boots of Travel available as well. Desolator Recipe picked up, which is a little odd. That picked up before any of its components, but it is a really cheap recipe, only 300 gold, so perhaps pick that up before dying. Unsure about it. Macaco looking for the SF bottom. He's going to need some help, though. Does not have a finger for 10 seconds. Going to wait around the corner, but Dust is going to be popped. He gets the Hex off. Hookshot nicely queued up there by Marmite. They'll even drain the mana up. He's going to try and Requiem here, and the Finger of Death will secure his hit. He's down before he Requiems. Didn't have full souls there regardless, as you could tell from the Death Requiem. Now they're going to haunt back in and look to re-engage here. They do bring in the Spectre, who's got the Radiance. They'll bring down the Lion first. Reality's forward, nicely played over towards the Clockwork, but with that Aghanim Scepter, he'll be able to hook back. It's a very aggressive TP forward from the Luna, and the Legion tries to save her, but will feed over his own life and give the second duel of the game over to the Spectre, who has a Radiance and a Vanguard now. 25 raw damage added as well. 2 heroes on the deck. The hookshot is still available. The Luna's still up, and the Slark, he's got a TP, so this is a little bit of a ballsy push coming out from the Dire side. We'll see how it ends up panning out for them. Jumping forward is the Luna. Now coming through, though, is the Spectre with the Radiance Burn. They'll bring her down before the Eclipse does a whole lot of anything. Jump forward. The Pounce is going to miss outside of the cogs for Felix. And with the dagger, Kill Pain is going to be able to run away. He's using those Desolate procs as well to fight into Felix. And the Shadow Dance is going to have to be used defensively. Aphotic Shield is there as well with the Radiance. But with the Luna buyback, they need to get out. The Earth Spike will connect onto the Spectre. There's a Lucent Beam there as well. But the Open Wounds never give up, still looking to fight. The Manta off. There's the Hex onto the Lifestealer. He's pretty much left for dead by his teammates at this point. Can try to infest something, but will be brought down. Dust popped off again. Once again, the Lion really providing for his team in this 5-position hard support with the Jungler. Always having detection available. Getting his core items up with the Tranquils and the Aether Lens. And he has been one bright spot on the Radiant side where there have been a lot of questionable decisions. Meanwhile, the Spectre getting very fat, and the whole quad core, including the jungle of the Dire, looking good at this point. Scotty going to be finished up by Felix and FLX, doing work with the Midas here. So really coming back into relevance in this one. 3-2-3, 150 CS though, 31 minutes in, about 5 CS a minute. So has recovered nicely in terms of farming. His fighting subpar at this point, but 3-2-3 is a pretty docile KDA, but still getting very fat. Has the Blink and the Scotty. Certainly is fight ready, sitting on 2k HP. Almost level 19 here. So even doing work in terms of the experience department. Scouting Haunt gonna come out, and they should be aware of the Legion's. Oh, the Haunt forward actually on the Spectre, looking to find perhaps Felix. He's going to get hooked by the Clockwork, and the duel is going to stalk the Requiem. Now the Spectre is in trouble as well. Felix going to pop the Shadow Dance. He actually gets out instead of manning up. The Death Requiem will finish off the Legion Commander. The Legion finds the Shadow Fiend first. Not sure that she got dual damage from it. Didn't seem as so. Pudge now riding forward, and doesn't seem like they'll find much else. The Spectre does survive, however. This is a pretty big deal for this Dire side. Felix as well gonna get himself out of any danger in that fight, and maybe if he stuck around during the Shadow Dance and manned up against the Spectre, they at least find that kill. But overall, just ends up being the Shadow Fiend for the Legion Commander. Legion being the first to grab the kill. Shadow Fiend going down early, and the Death Requiem finishing her off. But full Silver Edge up on the Legion as well. A couple of good passives to cancel on the other side. You've got the Feast. And you've got all the Spectre passives, which is the big one. The Dispersion is going to help her tank up quite a bit. So being able to disable that will be nice if he connects on the main target, of course. Spectre often is going to have that Haunt up when they are into skirmishes. So that's going to be more pick-off oriented. Item Dismember available here for Bibu. He has more than enough to bring him down, but the Sentry plays just in the nick of time. Hi, Makako, and Makako has been playing very well on this Lion. KDA doesn't really tell the story, 2-7 and 10, but has done exactly what his team needs of him. And yeah, sitting very poor alongside the Pudge at the bottom of the barrel, but when you've got 4 cores on either side, you're going to have this one hero who is just completely starved. There's just not enough farm on the map to satisfy everybody, and Clockwork still doing fairly well in this one, but has quieted down quite a bit in terms of his effectiveness. As if you look at the Radiant Vision across the map, they have nothing on the other side, on the Dire side of the map right now. Dire pretty blind as well, so both teams need to start getting active perhaps with smokes, and that's why you see this Haunt for Vision bot lane. Limonka is 1v1ing G, and they don't reality in the Spectre, but the Abaddon, he'll find the kill all by himself. Meanwhile, Spectre top lane duking it out with the Sark. This time he'll stay around and man up underneath Shadow Dance, but the Lifestealer comes through and he'll be able to finish the job. Felix FLX, unfortunately, really unable to pick the right engagements, when to disengage, when to stick around, and that is a big part of this hero, the elusive Slark. They will be able to glyph up this top lane and look to find a defense here. The Silver Edge not on cooldown, so they get the cogged up onto Never Give Up, even if he Silver Edges is underneath the tower here. Makako will pick up the last hit. I'll just ensure that no one else is around, unless that was a misclick on the dust, but we'll secure the last hit with that Impale. That gives him quite a bit of gold. Maybe on the way to a Blink Dagger at some point, but it's a nice solo kill. 760 experience apiece to that triumvirate of heroes. And Monka, though, really carry builds. S and Y, going for the AC on top of that, was able to man up against a Legion commander. Not all that often you see that. Mid lane, though, he may not be so lucky. They're going to get the borrowed time off, and they'll kite him around nicely. The Luna actually healing him up quite a bit here. The Requiem going to come through. Hits onto 2 as well. The Eclipse, though, it's going to come out. Immediate Hex onto OP. OP is in trouble now. Lion perfectly positioned. Meanwhile, the duel on the backside is successful for the Legion Commander, bringing down the Pudge. They lose the clock in the meantime, but it's a favorable trade in the mid lane. It ends up being that 2-for-1. And all 3 heroes on the Radiant side benefiting pretty heavily from that. The Abaddon still survives. Gets a good chunk of gold. Got that solo kill on the Legion bot lane, and that'll allow him to finish up the Assault Cuirass. So that'll help all of the heroes on his team, especially the Lifestealer who wants that minus armor. Hits pretty hard, and with the armlet does not have any minus armor of his own like a Desolator. It's also going to be nice up against the Desolator in the hands of GNG. Haunt will scout out this Roshan attempt. And the Reality forward is going to be up onto the Slark. It'll force him to pounce away. Then he'll Reality into the Roche Pit. Force the Legion Commander back. Dagger himself out to safety. He had the vision of the Lion nearby, so maybe thought about soloing up that Slark, but then with his Haunt illusion, realized it was a bit dangerous. Butterfly, soon to come out. Actually going to be finished up here in just one creep camp for GL Dodagran. And 8-3-10 started off 8-0. So since then, only assists for this Luna. Still pretty big force in this game, and with the Butterfly, we'll get ever the more tanky up against what is a lot of right click from the other side. Rocket Flare is going to scout out the Roche attempt. Clockwork is nowhere nearby, though, and they're pretty damn quick at doing this, so the Roche will be taken in time. Blink forward from the Slark. Will he be able to snatch the Aegis? Abaddon is able to get it, but he gets the last hit on the Slark, and now they'll hex up the Abaddon. They'll go for the duel on the Lifestealer. The Lifestealer will win it, though. Dust comes out, at least for the movement speed slow. FLX able to get out of harm's way, and Luna will not be so lucky. They end up getting the last hit on Roche for the Radiant, which is nice, but they don't secure the Aegis. They lose 2 of their main cores, and the Luna just bought out her Butterfly. Did not even bring it to the fight, in fact, so was not as effectively tanky as she could have been. She'll be on the sidelines for 75 seconds. 55 seconds down for the Legion Commander, and Hookshot mid. Clockwork, not sure if he still has the kill potential. If there is one hero that he does have it on, it is the Pudge, being as poor as Bibu is, and Marmite will find a quick pick. If he can get out here, that'll be big for his squad, but the Battery Assault will now expire. Curse of the Avernus going to come through. The Hookshot, the re-engage from FLX, but this hero has borrowed time and an Aegis. This is not the ideal target to be going in now. That is Shadow Fiend rotating in. Limonka going to bait them forward. The Desolator is there from the Shadow Fiend. He'll get the Shadow Blade off as well. Will not be able to right-click into Felix because of the Shadow Dancer. The Hookshot is going to connect onto the Shadow Fiend. The Haunt coming through now, and the Requiem is barely going to hit on the FLX, but he gets the BKB off. Will try and pounce to the low ground. He'll be unsuccessful, though. The Slark will be brought down. FLX is having a bad time in this one, and this means a free tier 2 for sure, with the Desolator up on the Shadow Fiend, who is for some reason not with his team. Gonna TP towards that top lane. Maybe they go for 2 towers here. They have the Curse of the Avernus, though, which will help with the push. Overwhelming Odds gonna do quite a bit of damage. Hopefully they're not gonna dive too deep for this, because the structure is free. Looks like for now, kill, pain, kill will just clean up the creep wave. Meanwhile, the Shadow Fiend will bring down the top lane tier 2, so they get 2 towers out of that. Still, the Slark is down for 50 seconds, and jumping in towards the base with the borrowed time is the Abaddon. Now it's going to expire. They have a Hookshot available from the Clockwork, but he doesn't want to engage all by his lonesome. They have a Blink Dagger on the Lion, however, but no Finger of Death available just yet. Butterfly completed and picked up now on the Luna. Mjolnir comes out for the Lifestealer. Lifestealer is not with the teammates, though. Jump forward, Hookshot's not going to connect onto the Abaddon. He will end up going down here, but he does have an Aegis. Hookshot not going to connect on anyone. Abaddon in a little bit of a far forward position. They're going to jump in onto him. He does not have the ultimate available for another 3 seconds. Can they burst him in time? They will. The Abaddon will go down. The duel once again is going to be lost by the Legion Commander. Luna does get a return kill onto the Spectre, but never give up, grabbing himself one. And third level duel going the way of the Lifestealer. Instant buyback from FLX. He's going to look to turn this now. He will find the Pudge and should be able to kill him off, especially with the BKB up. The pure damage, though, from the hook does a lot. And the Rage going to come out a little bit late from Never Give Up. He tries to fight into the Luna, and now OP in trouble as well. Huge throws coming out from the Dire side. They stick around far too long. The Radiant will expend the buyback on the Luna. FLX able to rejoin the fray, and he'll be the big beneficiary of this fight. 3,700 experience, 1,600 gold. Gets a double kill with that 9-second BKB. Really nice for him. 2,800 gold in his pockets as well. Can go for something like that Basher. Maybe he wants to pick up an MKB. Either one would be a fine choice here. Maybe even a Moon Shard. There are no butterflies over on the opposite side just yet. Oh, Moon Shard could definitely be very effective. Octarine Core on the Spectre is a very interesting choice. Generally, if you see a Haunt-oriented build, which is exactly what this is, Spectre only has 2 abilities, Haunt and Dagger. So you usually see the Refresher over the Octarine, but perhaps because she has the Radiance, feels like that the spell Lifesteal will synergize with the Radiance as well. And it usually, something that's like this is probably a 6th item, but jumping forward, Pain in a little bit of trouble, is going to get hexed up. FLX going to jump forward, the Radiance Burn doing work though, and it's going to kill off the Lion. They're going to get a free duel win though on this Spectre. And calling out her teammates for noobs, we're going to see Kill Pain make an extremely amateurish play in the top lane. I mean, yeah, you can usually jump in on a support and solo kill him very easily as a Spectre, but a Lion is a support that can delay things out long enough for inbound backup. And when you're initiating the gank this far on the enemy side of the map, you have to expect that backup to be inbound fairly quickly. So pretty big misstep coming out from the Spectre in that one. We'll see if it costs the Dire side enough to lose the game. BKB pop bot lane by OP. He's going to try and fight up against the Clockwork, who does have cogs available. Will he pop them in time? The Shivas are there. Hook shot back. Will stun up Limonka and won't even need the cogs. Meanwhile, top lane, Never Give Up. Silver edges himself out. FLX now will jump forward. He's going to rage himself up and try and man up. Will infest himself for now. That's going to force out the Shadow Dance. If this expires and they get the Dismember off, they do get the Dismember off. Where's the Lifestealer, though? They need help. Duel will come through. The hook shot is going to connect onto the Legion, but she'll get the Silver Edge off. Now FLX going to try and fight up against Never Give Up. He gets the open wounds off. There is a Dark Pact in just a second. FLX, though, he cannot win this man fight when the open wounds is active on him. He'll Dark Pact it off. Press the attack will be there from the Legion, and they'll be able to make it out. Meanwhile, Lion is dead on the bottom lane, and the Eclipse is going to be fully soaked up by a borrowed time Abaddon. This is exactly what he needs to heal himself up. FLX, though, going to be able to TP back, and now he'll rejoin the fray and be able to bring down the Abaddon. Will the Spectre Reality in at this point? It doesn't seem like a really good situation to do so, but she will. Reality's in and trying to bring down the Luna. The burn will be able to do the job, it seems. FLX in a bit of trouble now. He'll be able to pounce himself out. Does opt for that Basher, and can they bring down the melee racks? They do have a Desolator available. They'll try and right-click into this. They'll get hooked on the Spectre. OP needs to do something. He'll have a couple more right clicks into it, but he'll get dueled up, and now they can turn into the Legion, get some more raw damage up for their side. Feels like 5, 6, maybe 7 duels lost by this Legion commander, and all of these heroes, except for the Pudge, benefit from raw damage. Clockwork will buy back for now. They still hold on to their racks. FLX will find the kill onto the Spectre. Looking for the Shadow Fiend, should be able to find him as well. The Dark Pact, oh, barely. Not enough damage. Overall, a lot of heroes go down. Let's put it that way. Buybacks expended. The Luna was quite a while ago. The Clockwork just recently. Dire side do not utilize any buybacks there, so in that sense it does favor them, but a successful defense in the sense that the racks still stand on the bot lane. Never Give Up, though. He's been getting a lot. He gets a little bit of extra raw damage as well. And 4k gold up on this Lifestealer. We'll see what he ends up picking up. FLX going to jump forward. There's a Dismember available, but the Dark Pact was already casted by FLX. The hook shot is there on him, but he gets a bash off onto the Pudge. Now the Open Wounds is there. He needs to pact off the Open Wounds, but he'll just continue to right-click away, never give up. Will get the Shadow Blade off. He'll pop the ult. The Pounce is actually going to connect onto the Lifestealer, so OP can try and walk away, but there's so many Essence Shift stacks on this Slark. He'll pop the BKB. The Dark Pact will kill off the LS2. Triple kill for FLX, and after having what was a brutal early game, manning up in this mid lane, 58 stacks of Essence Shift there, hitting for over a Rapier base damage, and he's going to keep going forward, and why the hell not? Up against this Abaddon, now he's got again 58, 60 stacks of Essence Shift. Borrow time not going to matter, my friend. This Limonka Abaddon is going to get chased down. He's going to get killed. One more pounce. It'll be enough to secure the kill. And FLX taking this game over on the Slark. 7k gold in his inventory. Can pick up the Abyssal. He will do so. Still has buyback available if need be. And yeah, 70 plus stacks of Essence Shift in that last fight. And that is not what you want to be fighting against, especially in a 1v1 nature like they did. Spectre trying to flank them from the back lines. Will pick up a Heart of Tarask before this and throws out the Haunt, but doesn't really have any support from her teammates. She's going to Haunt right into the middle of 3 heroes. They do not get the hook shot off. They do not get the duel off somehow as well. They will get the Abyssal Blade, though, onto the Spectre, and Felix, he's going to be doing work. Godlike streak on the Slark, and now the Lifestealer in a little bit of trouble as well. Pounce for it is going to connect. Bash is there as well. Eclipse doing some work. Double kill for the Luna. FLX, 77 Essence Shift stacks. If it weren't for these tier 2s in the outer lanes, they could probably mega creep them here, but they'll just, with the Luna, look to go for tier 4s, and this could be the end of the game. Everyone on the sidelines, no one has buyback for this Dire team, and the GG going to be preemptively called by Marmite, but doesn't seem like that'll matter all that much in the grand scheme of things. The Ancient will be taken down. Moonshard picked up just for good measure by FLX at the end, and it was a rough start for this Slark, but pretty much just comes down to manning up mid lane and not enough commitment from the Shadow Fiend and the Lifestealer together. They jump in one by one and just get completely taken out by a Slark who was fed tons of Essence Shift stacks there, and they'll go for an odd early build in lane and will be able to recover with that Midas. Nicely played to get himself across the map and be able to accrue that farm, but space created by his teammates as well. UK Marmite MVP material early on, and 8-0 start for the Luna. Didn't seem too relevant near the late game, but definitely shut down some of these bigger cores early on for the Dire side, and just felt like they were really throwing towards that mid lane for the Dire, and the Radiant will punish them for it. So they'll take this game, guys. Again, at Felix W. Gonna assume you were the Slark in that one, just by virtue of the name. Could be wrong, of course, but I appreciate you guys, all of you guys, coming out to provide me with a little bit more practice and give me some of these games. So we'll be back with another set tonight, probably another game, maybe 2, time permitting. So I appreciate any of you that are joining me on stream, and if not, the VOD will always be up. MRP, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, here with you, casting some viewer requested games. Appreciate it, guys.